Ever feel like you're just drowning in expenses? Rent, groceries, childcare, like it all adds up,
Mm-hmm.
you know? But what if I told you there's a way to like build a financial life raft,
Mm-hmm.
a family fortress that could actually save you thousands of dollars a year and maybe even build a legacy for future generations?
Wow.
That's what we're diving into today
Okay.
with Jeff Burnett's blog post, Keeping Family Under One Roof.
All right.
And gets this, he's giving away this wisdom for free.
Okay.
We're talking multi-generational living.
Interesting.
And trust me, it's not what you think.
Okay. What's fascinating is how Burnett, who calls himself a real estate expert, frames this.
Yeah.
He's not just talking about grandma moving in to help with the kids.
Right.
He's laying out a whole financial and social strategy.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's not charging for this advice speaks volumes.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Right.
He starts with a pretty sobering scenario.
Okay.
Imagine 4 adult children all ready to move out and rent their own places. Burnett crunches the numbers for us. And get ready for this rents. Rent utilities, groceries, the whole 9 yards could easily cost those 4 kids a combined $92,400 per year.
That number really stopped me in my tracks.
Right.
It's a stark reminder of the financial pressure young adults face today.
For sure.
And Burnett's not just pointing out the problem.
Yeah.
He's offering a potential solution.
Okay.
Building what are called accessory dwelling units, or ADUs, on the family property.
Oh, interesting.
It's a one-time investment that could potentially save a family a small fortune in the long run.
So instead of bleeding money into rent payments,
Yeah.
you're investing in a property that could benefit multiple generations.
Exactly.
It's pretty clever, right? But it's not just about saving money, is it?
No.
Burnett talks about all these unspoken benefits like emotional well-being and stronger family bonds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where the real value of his insights shines through.
Okay.
He talks about the built-in support system of having family nearby. Need someone to watch the kids while you work. Grandma or grandpa are right there.
Yeah, that's true.
Worried about an aging parent living alone. They're part of the household, so you can check in on them easily.
Makes sense.
It's about peace of mind, reduced stress, and that translates to better mental and physical health for everyone.
Okay, so this is sounding less like failure to launch and more like a strategic family plan.
Right.
But how does this actually work in practice? I mean, we're not all living on sprawling estates, right?
Right, and that's where Burnett gets really practical.
Okay.
He outlines several housing arrangements, each with its own pros and cons.
Mm-hmm.
One option is building smaller individual homes on a single lot.
Okay.
Everyone has their own space, but you're sharing land and resources, maybe even a garden or a communal outdoor area.
It's like building your own little village,
Yeah.
but it's all family.
Exactly.
That sounds amazing. But what about people who don't have the space or the resources to start from scratch?
Burnett thought of that too. He dives into the idea of family compounds, which are basically multi-unit homes where different branches of the family have their own wings or floors.
Right.
It's a way to blend privacy with shared spaces, maybe
Right.
a communal kitchen for family dinners, or a big living room for movie nights.
That's such a cool concept.
Yeah.
You get your own space, but you're still connected to the larger family unit.
Exactly.
And for those who really don't have the room for a whole new building.
He's got a solution for that too.
Okay.
He suggests converting existing spaces like garages, basements, or attics into livable areas.
Oh,
Think in-law suites, but with more intention.
yeah.
And he even mentions the option of adding those ADUs we talked about, essentially separate apartments on your property.
Right.
He even provides tips on navigating local zoning laws and finding reputable contractors.
So there really are options for all kinds of families and budgets.
Yeah.
Burnett is going above and beyond here, laying out all these practical details that you wouldn't find in a typical real estate blog.
Yeah, and what really struck me was his emphasis on legacy.
He's not just talking about saving money or simplifying childcare. He's talking about connecting younger generations to the family's history, their values,
Yeah.
and the hard work that built their wealth.
Yeah.
It's about passing on a sense of identity and belonging, something that money can't buy.
And this whole concept ties into something we're seeing more and more these days, the desire for a smaller carbon footprint. Multi-generational living is inherently more sustainable, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fewer homes to heat and cool, less reliance on individual cars, and often more opportunities for gardening and shared resources.
Makes sense.
Burnett really taps into a growing trend here.
Yeah.
And it's inspiring to see him offer this knowledge freely.
Okay, so we've got financial savings, emotional support, a lighter environmental impact, and a sense of legacy.
It's a lot.
This is sounding pretty amazing.
Right.
But I have to ask, are there any downsides? It can't all be sunshine and roses, right?
You're right. Every rose has its thorns,
Uh-huh.
and multi-generational living is no exception.
It's important to go into this with realistic expectations.
Mm-hmm.
While Burnett doesn't shy away from potential challenges, he does emphasize the importance of clear communication and setting boundaries.
So it's not just about cramming everyone under one roof and hoping for the best.
Right.
You need a plan, right?
Exactly. He stresses the need for open and honest conversations about finances, responsibilities, and even just personal space.
Right.
Who's contributing what financially? How are chores divided? What are the rules about visiting each other's spaces?
Lots to think about.
It's about proactively addressing potential conflicts before they arise.
So you're basically creating a mini society within the family.
In a way, yeah.
That makes sense, but it also sounds a little daunting.
It can be, but Burnett breaks it down in a way that feels manageable.
Okay.
He talks about things like having separate living spaces, even if they're small and soundproofing walls, to create a sense of privacy.
Smart.
He even suggests separate entrances, if possible.
Wow, he really thought of everything.
He tries to.
But even with the best planning, conflicts are bound to happen, right? Families are messy no matter how much you love each other. So even with all of Burnett's great advice, how do you deal with those inevitable family blow-ups? Is there a secret sauce? A magic formula for keeping the peace when grandma's meatloaf is burning and the kids are running wild?
Well, if there were a magic formula, someone would be selling it for a fortune.
Right.
But seriously, Burnett emphasizes something we've touched on before. Communication is key.
Yeah.
He suggests holding regular family meetings, kind of like a mini town hall, where everyone can voice their concerns, make suggestions, and work through issues together.
It's like taking those skills we learn in couples therapy or conflict resolution workshops and applying them to the whole family.
Yeah.
And that makes a lot of sense, right? We invest so much time and energy in our individual well-being. Why not invest in the well-being of our family unit as well?
Exactly. And that's where I think Burnett's work is really groundbreaking.
Yeah.
He's not just offering practical tips for multi-generational living. He's planting the seeds for a whole new way of thinking about family dynamics.
Interesting.
He even mentions seeking out professional guidance if needed, whether it's a therapist, a financial advisor, or even a mediator to help navigate tough conversations.
So he's really covering all the bases here.
He tries to.
And think about the ripple effect.
Yeah.
If more families embrace this proactive approach to communication and conflict resolution, it could have a positive impact on our communities as a whole.
Absolutely.
Imagine a world where neighbors are helping neighbors, where different generations are sharing their skills and wisdom, where the sense of isolation that so many people feel these days starts to fade away.
It's a powerful vision, and it all starts with those individual choices, those families who are willing to step outside the traditional model and create something new.
Yeah.
And that's what I find so inspiring about Burnett's work. He's not just talking about real estate. He's talking about building a better future.
And he's doing it all for free, sharing his knowledge and expertise with anyone who's willing to listen. That's a level of generosity you don't see every day.
It's a reminder that sometimes the most valuable things in life are the ones that are given freely.
Yeah, I like that.
And in a world that's often focused on profit and individual gain, that's a message we're spreading.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So to our listeners, we encourage you to check out Jeff Burnett's blog post, Keeping Family Under One Roof.
It's a good one.
It's a treasure trove of practical advice and inspiring insights.
For sure.
And even if multi-generational living isn't right for you, his emphasis on communication planning and building a strong family foundation is something we can all learn from.
Absolutely. This deep dive has been an eye-opening journey exploring not just the nuts and bolts of multi-generational living, but the heart and soul of what it means to be a family in the 21st century.
Well said. We've covered the financial benefits, the emotional rewards, the environmental impact, and even the potential for societal change. But ultimately, it comes down to this family is a verb. It's something we actively build and nurture brick by brick, conversation by conversation.
And whether you're living under one roof or spread across continents, the lessons we've gleaned from Burnett's work can help us all create stronger, more resilient, and more loving families.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of multi-generational living. We hope you've gained some valuable insights and maybe even a little inspiration to rethink the possibilities of family life.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep connecting, and keep building those family fortresses one conversation at a time.